Welcome to Collecting Chaos. It's the Monday morning show. And it really is Monday morning. I normally record these on the weekend, but I didn't. So it's the Monday morning show. What can you do? Now, before we get started on what I'm going to talk about today, and it's not going to be the lack of anything here on the wall, but yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit, but that's not the focus. Let's get something done that I was supposed to do Friday, and I kind of got excited when I got all those little toys, and I wanted to show them. See, I had cover of the week last week, for people to pick and decide what they liked, and then I tell them what I like. And there were 3 candidates, and this was one of them. And this was one of them. And that was one of them. And today, towards the end of the show, I'm going to show you which one I picked for last week's cover of the week. Yeah, it's a week late, but it's better late than not at all. So let's talk condition for a minute. There's 4 conditions I want to talk about, and I'm going to make it as easy as possible. The first condition I want to talk about is a reader copy. What is a reader copy? It's real easy. A reader copy is a comic book that has the story intact and can be read from beginning to the end in a single book or a single comic. What I'm talking about there is there's no set condition for a reader copy. A reader copy can be brand new. You just bought it off the rack, or one that's missing all kinds of things, but the story is intact. It could be missing the cover. Cover can be completely gone. As long as the story is intact and you can read it, it is a reader copy. The staples can be missing, but as long as all the pages are there and you can read it, and even if a page is missing, as long as you can read the whole story, it's a reader copy. Reader copy pretty much really denotes something that isn't considered collectible. It's only good for the reader. I think that's an important distinction, because a lot of time we have people talking about, well, this is a reader copy. And I'll look at it and go, it's like very good to find. That's mid-grade. That's not a reader copy. But it comes from people not really understanding what the different conditions of a comic book are. And like I said, I'm only talking 4 basic conditions here. Reader copy is at the bottom of the stack. Reader copy is exactly what it sounds like. It's a comic that you can read, find the whole story, and that's it. You don't care about anything else. As long as you can read the story, you're good. Helps to have all the panels in the artwork too, so that when you read a comic, you don't just read the words, you also look at the pictures. So it's got to be the whole thing. But like I said, it can be missing the cover, it can be missing coupons, it can be missing a letters page, if they even still have letters pages. I don't think they do, which is a shame, because that was I used to enjoy reading those when I was much younger. As long as the story is intact, it is at least a reader copy. The next thing we're going to talk about is low-grade comics. Low-grade comics are complete comics. That's it. They're complete. They have front cover, they have back cover. They have the story intact. Can it be missing a coupon? Sure. Can it be missing part of the cover? Sure. As long as it has a cover, it can be missing parts. Generally, low-grade comics are fair condition or good condition, and that's pretty much it. A good condition comic. If somebody says this comic is in good condition, that's actually a bad thing. That means it's pretty much the lowest collectible grade. Not necessarily a good thing, not necessarily what you want to see in a comic book as a collector. but people do collect them, especially the older issues, the ones that are a little harder to find. Those are sometimes collectible in any grade. A good example of this is Action Comics #1, where not only is it collectible, you can have just a page and it's considered collectible because it came from that iconic comic, which contained the first appearance of Superman. I don't agree with that. I don't think a page, unless it's an original page, I don't think it should be collectible. Just the page itself from a comic book, no, I don't agree with that. That means somebody disassembled that comic book at one time, and I don't like that. But it is what it is. People are going to do what they can do to make money. So let's go to the next grade. So we've got two of them sort of defined here. We've got reader copies, which are basically not collectible unless they're complete, in which case we shouldn't describe them as reader copies. We should describe them as low-grade copies. And low-grade copies are, of course, exactly what it sounds like. They're low-grade. Fair to good condition, multiple creases, spine ticks. The cover can be detached as long as it's still with it. The centerfold can be detached as long as it's still with it. It's a low-grade copy. Now let's get into the fine or the mid-grade copies. These are comics that are a little more desirable. They're fine for collecting. It's really, it is the middle of the road comics. And most comics from the Silver Age and the Golden Age and the Atomic Age, which we don't use that term anymore, most comics printed before 1970. Not all of them. There are some outstanding examples. There's some near mint ones out there. There's some high grade ones out there. But the run-of-the-mill comics you find from the 1970s are mid-grade or lower. The lower being, of course, the low grade. So really that's what you're looking at. And I will go so far as to say pretty much anything before 1975 is probably going to be mid-grade or lower. So you're going to have a lot of spine ticks. You're going to have some creases. As long as it presents well, and this most people would consider this a mid-grade copy. This is from 1959, by the way. And most people would consider this a mid-grade copy, but it presents really, really well. And I think once it's cleaned up a little bit, it could, eke into that mid-grade because it does present so well. Got to show you an example once in a while. A low-grade copy. I have that same comic in a low grade. This one is low grade. The centerfold is detached. I dropped something. The centerfold is detached. The cover's loose, and it's missing some pieces down here, and it's got some creases. It's got some stains on it. So this is a low-grade copy. Looks like the same comic, and it is, but it's not. We'll pick this stuff up before I forget. Now let's talk about high-grade comics. High-grade comics, these are very desirable books. These are books that are almost perfect. They're in really nice shape. They might have a few spine ticks. They might have some minor defects. They might have some, color variations. But in general, they're considered really nice copies and highly desirable by the collector. These are the ones that people get slabbed generally. They don't generally slab the low grades unless they're rare. They don't generally slab the mid grades unless it's rare or a key issue. These are, you find a lot of these newer comics slab because they are higher grade. High grade comic, it's almost like it's brand new. So this would be considered high grade. It's brand new. It has very few, if any, spine ticks. You see a little damage along here. Actually, no, you don't. All that you have is you see the cover going across, but there's no damage there. The corners are sharp. It's just an almost perfect comic, so it's considered high grade. And that's really all you need to know about the condition of comics to make a decision as to whether you want to buy it or not on the internet. Don't ask the seller, is that a near mint copy? Ask them, is it a high grade copy? High grade, very fine or better, is high grade. You can have, half a dozen minor defects on it, and it doesn't really affect the grade that much, because I'm talking about minutia, very, very small stuff. Anything that starts getting into the larger drops it into the mid-grade area. So, like I said, that's all you really know in order to buy online. You just is it a reader copy? Is it a low-grade copy? Is it a mid-grade copy? Is it a high-grade copy? If you're buying for investment, you want to stick pretty much with the high-grade copies for anything published after 1985, mid-grade copies for anything published after about 1970. And you can go to the, I would almost push that back to about 1965 for mid-grade, 60 to 65. Anything before that, low grade is perfectly acceptable, because that might be all you can find in those grades that is affordable. So let's get to this. To which one I like best. This is a gorgeous cover. It's absolutely positively gorgeous, but it's not my cover of the week. This, again, absolutely gorgeous cover. But this, to me, this says Batman. And I'm not talking, and even without the letters, it's just the darkness of it. This is my cover of the week. That was easy. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk for a second about this. This was an idea I had for the claim sale that's going on tonight on Patrick Murphy's channel. You want to check that out. It's going to be me. It's going to be Patrick Murphy. It's going to be Horizon Picks. And Treasures Noire will be there also. I don't yet know if she's selling. I don't think she's going to sell anything, but she's going to be there to add flavor and content to our free-for-all. It's a claim sale. That means we're going to show you a comic, and you have an opportunity to buy it at a single price. No auction, just, yes, I want that one. Whoever comes up first and says it, that gets it. Now, my idea with this was that I'd have comics behind all these boards, and I'd charge one price for one. And you say, okay, I want E3, and I'd put your name down for E3, charge you $3 at the end of the auction, and reach behind after it's claimed and show you what you got. Now, there's only one comic behind there. And this is an idea that I had that I'm going to use, but I'm not going to use it tonight. And normally Monday mornings, what I do is I go through and I tell you what's on the wall that you can buy this week. I'm not going to do that today. I just, it's just something I'm not prepared to do it. I'm not going to do that. I will have comics up by the time we do our shows on Wednesday and Thursday, so you can see. But what's going to be on the wall is going to be like a preview of what I'm going to offer on Friday, not necessarily something you can buy right then. In coming weeks, I will start implementing this, and you will be able to pick a number or pick a letter number combination and buy that book. The comics that will be behind there will be $3. So you got to pay $3 to see what the comic is, and basically when you see the comic, you've bought it. But it goes one step further. After all the comics on the wall are sold, or in this idea is sold, I will have a drawing with everybody that bought a comic for a comic that's worth more than $10. And we're talking, $4 to $8 for the average comic that's up there. One person that bought something from up there will get a comic worth over $10. I don't have a lot of comics in the $10 to $20 range, I'll be honest with you. I have a lot in the $20 to $50 range, so that's probably what you're going to end up with. But that's a future idea. I'm not going to do it for tonight. I will probably still have that there. But all it's going to do is I'm going to put comics up there that nobody claimed right away. So they'll go up there and then you can claim it. So that's what that it's going to be. Not going to use it tonight. I am going to use it sometime in the future. So that's my video for this morning. I'm glad. I hope everybody got to learn something about what you need to look for. Let's not even get into this is a 9.8, this is a 9.6, this is a 5.0. Let's just go with the 4 basic high grade, mid grade, low grade reader. Red for reader. Reader red, okay? So if we do a color code, red is readers. We'll say yellow is low grade. Let's take blue for mid grade and green for high grade. So green, blue, yellow, red. Green, blue, yellow, red. What else do you need to know? High, mid, low, reader. Anything below reader, it makes great. It's a great source for things like decoupage. Use it for crafting. If it's below reader, use it for crafting. We'll see you next video. Like I said, I hope you learned something. Hope I help you out a little bit with the condition thoughts. And don't forget, before you handle your comics, your cards, toys, games, make sure you wash your hands. I drop videos 5 times a week. 5 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday. And I go live on Thursdays. Do auction on Friday on another channel. Bye.